Welcome back to Buddy and the Boss, guys, and here we are back in our motel room after getting released from Lismore Watch House. Now, let me tell you why I was there. Why was the boss arrested? And I'm just cooking a steak now because we only got out a few hours ago, and I'd just done a video on the news, and I've just taken on today the Department of Housing, and this boss is just nutting it all out. We are just cracking on with it. We don't stop. So in between cooking this beautiful meal and doing a review on the news, I'm going to tell you guys what happened after my last video on the Department of Housing down there, how I was about to get evicted. Now, what happened with the eviction is I ended up getting a one-day extension, okay, and only 1 day, even though I just paid my rent. I suggest you all go back and watch the other video I just did on Department of Housing. I don't want to go through that bit again because this story is going to blow your mind once again. Now, I've just got out. Now, let me go back a second. So, I got that 1 day extension while she reviewed what I told you guys in my last video about the medical certificate and how it states under section 10 of the agreement I signed, the contract with the Department of Housing, saying if you can't look for housing, you must provide, and it only says this, provide medical evidence, such as a letter from a doctor. Now, just turning that steak over. Have a look at that. Whew. Cooking up a storm. Right, so we're just going to throw these veggies in real quick. Right, so boom, in we go. You don't muck around with it, you just chuck it in. Look, that's it. Right. The thing is with steak, guys, you really don't want vegetables on top because of the steak. You want to get them off, move them to the side, just like that. And you want to put that over there, mix that bit of butter in. Right, it's herbal butter, so that's nice. There you go. Battery's going low. Right, so like I was saying, now I had that 1 day extension because what I said to them was, when I signed the agreement, which I have in my bag over there, I'm not going to show you again, I showed it in the last video, and I've got too much going on in between cooking, posting videos, and going through more paperwork, and tonight I've got to look for more housing, so I've got to tell you what's going on. So, they gave me the extension based on the fact that I said I got the medical exemption, and they're telling me that it hasn't been validated. I told her, now this is the head of the office, and I should bring her name out now actually, but it might be hard to find because all our paperwork's in this bag after getting out of the watch house, but we'll have a look, see what we got. And I'm sure I've got some evidence here. Now, I did write it down. So, and it's very funny because things are really happening here. Alright, so just bear with me, guys. You know, more of my videos are raw. And right, here we go. So I spoke with, I think it was the Tweed Heads office, I'm not sure. Anna, the Senior Service Client Specialist. So that's Anna, okay? Now, she gave me the 1 day extension, and she said she will call me back that afternoon, which was the same day that all this is going on. Now, I've got to keep turning these vegetables while I talk to you guys. So she said she's got to talk to the guy who approves the medical forms. Right, so ironically enough, I got picked up on a warrant before she could call me back that afternoon with an answer. Okay, now We all know how I'm dealing with the corrupt police. Ooh. So I get picked up and I go into jail on a warrant. Now, so I don't get that phone call. Now my place is really in jeopardy because I've only got until the next morning before this hotel room goes up for someone else, because it wouldn't have been paid for and I would have got the approval for the extension. Now, so I get picked up on a warrant. Now that warrant is in front of me, well, what I went for, and it turns out that the Byron police have charged me for a trespass notice, something on there, and something to do with my behaviour or something again. And then they took it to court without me being there, and then the judge put an outcome out to have me arrested. And so that was the Byron police setup. Now, I got let out, and yeah, there's no reasoning for it, and that's why the judge let me out, because there's nothing to this. It was all garbage. It's all a setup. Okay, so alright, so I spent the night in the watch house, but they transported me from Ballina to Lismore. So I'm thinking, shit, I've only got till 10 o'clock before I can organise this hotel room and all that sort of stuff, or else all my stuff's going to get taken out and the room's going to be cleaned up, and then I'll get out of the watch house with nowhere to sleep and all my possessions are God knows where. So, oh boy, the boss is at it. Right, so, and I'm going to say something about the police in Ballina and Lismore, actually. And so, during my stay, they transported me, sorry to, like I'm everywhere, so they transported me to the Lismore watch house. And like, it's about an hour away, I think, whatever it was, trip, half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. So I'm sitting in the watch house, no one knows what's going on, but I've got to say, the Ballina police were very nice, very respectful. Obviously I was respectful back. They didn't have any problem with my behaviour. They gave me a feed as soon as I walked into the watch house, gave me a cup of coffee. Never said anything bad, just really nice, really, the police. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but they were really nice police. Anyway, they transport me down to Lismore, and the cop gets out of the van and he says, is that alright, comfortable ride? I said, yeah, it wasn't too bad considering, and they were just really nice cops. So then I was turned over to community justice corrections, whatever they are, the ones that deal with prisoners. I was strip searched, and then because that's the only place they can put people in Lismore. But I've got to say down there too, the police were so fucking nice. I didn't even believe I thought I was dreaming actually. Not one of them said any bad comments. They got me a feed, they got me a coffee pretty much straight away. I had a TV up in the cell, you have a TV, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, but I got a phone call as soon as I got there. They let me access my mobile phone, not in the cell, but at the counter, while handcuffed, of course. But yeah, not one thing was said bad. Now, you Byron police need to take a leaf out of these police book. And I must say that the Lismore police don't like you either. They actually say that we're always in conflict with you because you lie to them and you bash people. That was told to me by a nice policeman over there that's a very honest policeman. Right, I'm going to turn this off because I'm doing my veggies. So give me a second, guys. I'll get back to the story. Now, so I go through the watch house. We go through the court this morning, and keep in mind, my room is about to get given away. So, oh, please don't fall on the floor. There's not enough fence space in here. I'll just move that back, and we'll move that back. Ooh. Look at that steak, guys. It just fits on the plate. Right. We'll get the veggies out because I burnt them. That's all right. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be back in 1 second. This is a raw Buddy the Boss. Right, I need a utensil. So, yeah. Anyway, look, I'm still here. Putting all the veggies out. Right, here we go. What's that on there? You know, right. Sorry, guys. And we got the meal on the plate. And now we're back. Right, so I get out of the police station. There's no convictions, I'm just let out and stuff like that. So on my way coming back from Lismore, I walked out the watch house with all my little possessions. That's beautiful. And then as I'm walking to the bus stop, I notice Social Futures. Social Futures is the workers you're supposed to be assigned when you come into this place, to the Department of Housing. It's part of the plan, they say, that I signed. Now, I walked into there. I've got documents here too in relation to that. I don't know. I'll have to show them to you later. But they're here somewhere. I just don't know where I put them. Alright, I just wanted to show you all the evidence. I got it here. I'll just probably throw it in another video. Alright, but you guys know that I'll have it here. Right, so I went to Social Futures, who tried to contact them. They basically told me at Social Futures they can't get in contact with anyone at the moment. But they did give me a bit of a paper saying that I'm engaged with them and all that sort of stuff. So I went down to this department at Lismore, where I'm supposed to have the where my offices are supposed to be. And now this is interesting here. This is where it gets interesting. Now, I seen the security guard in the office, and he seemed like a nice guy. And I was asking him to bring up some numbers and that for me on his phone, and he was more than happy to do so. He was a real nice guy. And anyway, so I took a ticket, and I had to wait my turn, of course, while I heard other stories of people that were in there complaining, okay? And I said, now get this is important, guys, you're going to have to understand this. I said in there, look, yeah, I was saying to the other clients in there that were telling me their grievances, I said, you know, I've got a YouTube channel that exposes all this corruption and all that. And there's not one person that's going through this Department of Housing linked to home plan thing, pathways plan done by the housing. Not one person I know doesn't have a complaint. Not one person that I've met doesn't have a serious complaint. Now, I get my ticket gets taken. Called out. I get called out. I go to sit with the lady, and she tells me that my thing hasn't been extended. And I said, well, I've just been in the watch house and I just got let out, and there's nothing happened with the charges. It was fake, and I'd paid my rent. And I said, look, the only reason I didn't answer that call when she said that she was going to call is because I got picked up by the police on the warrant, and that sort of stuff. So I'm here to re-engage with you guys. And I told the manager that the police let me make the phone call from the watch house. So I rang the manager here and told him that I might be like a few hours in after booking. So I was in the watch house, so I couldn't get an extension. I couldn't argue my point to get an extension. Now this is the important bit. When I'm talking to the lady at the desk face to face, the one I'm having the initial interview conversation with, I pointed out, because she said, why should we re-extend it? And I said, well, one, I was in the watch house, got let out for no reason, right? And I said, I couldn't answer that call last night, but I said specifically this, and you must listen, because I integrate it back in my other video. It's integrated now, reintegrated. She said, we're having a conversation back and forth. And I said to her, she said, why should we validate it again, give you another extension? And I said, basically because I sent you all the bank records before we signed the agreement, you know which day I get paid, yet I pay my rent and it's the next day you're evicting me, which is putting me in hardship. Now, see, they're key words. Hardship. They're putting me in hardship. They know the date of my payments, and yet they will pull the plug now because they say I haven't paid rent. And in the other video, I showed you the receipts and all that sort of stuff and all the evidence there. And look, during the conversation, and I'm pointing out what's wrong, and I said, look, when I signed the forms as well, it states if you have a medical condition, provide a medical certificate. It doesn't say that the medical certificate has to go through approval when I sign the contract. It doesn't say in big print or small print. It clearly states just have a doctor, and mine specifically says not to look for housing. Now, you can see why it's hard to find housing with all these hoops and what I'm going through. But anyway, what she tried to do, and I wasn't raising my voice or anything, this is a key. Because I was winning the argument, she says, oh, there's no need to be rude. And I said, whoa, hold on. I said, and then I turned to the security guard and I said, security, could you come over here for a minute? Which he did, and he's a lovely gentleman, and he just stood there, and I said, look, I'm just having a few issues. She's saying I'm being rude, and I haven't raised my voice, sworn or anything, so before it escalates, I'd like you to stand there and overhear the conversation for my record. And he was happy to do that. And I'll tell you what, at the end of the conversation, he had a right grin on his face, because he's never seen anyone do what the boss does. So I said to the lady while the security's been there, I said, okay, so you said I was being rude. I said, can you tell me exactly how I was being rude to you? I said, I didn't swear, I haven't used any, I haven't raised my voice, I haven't given off any energy that seems hostile. I said, can you please explain to me while the security's here how I was being rude? And she said, I was just trying to explain to you. And I said, well, that's what I mean. You're talking to me. And you're saying I'm being rude, but you're saying you're explaining to me. So let's just start over again and let me tell you the grievances. So I put it out there again and told her about the medical form and how I was speaking to the head office lady, and I'll repeat her name because she deserves a bit of a plug-in. Her name's Anna. She's a senior service client specialist. Apparently Tweed Heads. Who knows where she's from, really? She could be from Lismore, but it says Tweed Heads, but I don't know. I don't trust them anymore. So anyway, this is what makes me think she's actually at Tweed Heads and not, at Lismore, not Tweed Heads. So anyway, they weren't going to extend it until I pointed out that the medical certificate under the contract, it never said that it had to be approved. And I said, you've had that medical certificate for so long, and I told Anna that as well the previous day before I got arrested and let out. The same thing. I said, you've never told me it has to be approved. It's not in the contract. I've shown the people on the internet. Going to keep it under 25 minutes, guys. So I'm going to wind it up quick, but I just want to get points. So anyway, she says, I can't overturn that. She says, I don't want to overturn that decision of a senior, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, maybe you should just go back and see the senior or whoever's in charge that you're referring to, and review that decision because right now I've just got out of the watch house. I've done everything that you have asked and more, and you're telling me that it's not. I said to her, and this is where it got out. I said, look, I paid on Monday and they're evicting me on Tuesday. Then I get the extension, they're evicting me Wednesday. But hang on, I'm in the watch house in between Tuesday and Wednesday. So here I am on Wednesday afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, almost your closing hours, telling you the events that happened and the discrepancies with this medical form. And I said, you now are making me homeless after all these things, and it is supposed to be for the homeless that are struggling and all that. And I said, but I've just paid rent and you haven't taken it through to my next check. And I said, that's what the flaw is. So you're putting me in hardship and you're making me homeless. And I, as you know, got all the evidence to prove that. And apparently all these people that work in that office were in a big meeting out the back. And it's not supposed to happen on this day. It's a special meeting. And I wonder if it's because they've been watching my YouTube videos, watching their exposure happen. But anyway, so she goes back. Next minute, she comes back. And I've got 3 more days. Once I get the 3 days, she was so unhappy about whatever happened. Now get this, she tried another trick in person. The security guard was almost laughing in hysterics because even he heard the conversation, didn't believe the words coming out of her mouth and how I threw it back to her. But she says to me, all right, we've extended you for 3 more days, but we've had complaints that you've been going around to people and harassing them and telling them, pressuring them to be on your YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And I said, no, that's not true, that's a lie. And I'll tell you why, because I just got the 3-day extension, and if there was a problem at the motel and there was anything said about me that was saying all those things, the owner or manager would have conveyed that to you, and I would not have been allowed back in the hotel. So there is your lie exposed. I said that at the counter. I said, there's your lie exposed. And I said, no one there would have complained about me because I'm respected by everyone. And guys, look where I am, having a beautiful steak dinner, right? At the motel, where if this was anyone else, and if I didn't do what I do and expose these people and give them the truth, I would not be here today, would I? Watching the news, exposing all the Palestine stuff as well. Now I'm going to start doing, as well as look for other houses, because she said also I've got to look for 3 houses in 3 days, and I'll just have to send them evidence and all that. That's easy enough to do, but we all know I shouldn't have to do that, but that's okay. We'll do what they want there, so we can continue the fight for all you guys out there that can't fight, don't have the knowledge, haven't got the experience of both worlds, because you really do need the experience of the smarts of reading books and stuff like the ones that I've read, and the people that have mentored me and things. So I'm more of a businessman really, but with a lingo of a street guy, because I'm a street guy too. I grew up in the hoods, you know what I mean, and I grew up in Byron, you know what I mean. So, and then I lived most of my life on the streets, and sometimes not by choice. Especially the past 3 to 4 years was not my decision to be homeless. But we all know my story, or we should do. Anyway, you guys, just wanted to expose that tonight a little bit. I am a bit tired. I've just done 2 videos of 20 minutes. Now, so that's 40 minutes. Plus I've cooked dinner and all that sort of stuff after just getting out of the watch house. So that's between what is it now? So that's between Monday and Thursday. That's what the boss has been through. And he's still keeping up with all the corruption. And so you can see now, like, this is what I have to go through every fucking day. There's something I have to go through, some sort of torment. You just don't see this all on YouTube. I don't film every day, but you can see they're quite consistent over the past few years. And the dilemmas, half of them you don't see on here, and they're quite complicated and tricky. And that's why people come to me. I'm going to go over 25 minutes here, it's okay. Look, I'm going to tell you why I do all this now. And look, no one else could do what I do. No one else can tell you what I tell you. No one else can get as close to the edge as I can and still come out on top. And that's because I do follow people like Trump that never give up. People always rubbish talking, like they do me. We're the same fucking leaf, except he's rich and I'm poor. But I'm going to be rich, I'll tell you that now, because I tell you, the other day, I told you in the other video, my daughter just got in contact with me after 5 years, and I find out I got 3 grandchildren to her and not just one. And I got a couple to my grandson. To my son, sorry. That was nearly weird. So I've had a shit life, a hectic life, but I call it a good life because no one can do what I do. Now, if I wasn't fighting just to be housed every day and left alone by corrupt police that won't let me sit in a tent somewhere and miles away from anyone, they still find me with helicopters. I shit you not, they send helicopters after me. They hovered over my tent, letting me know they were there. 2 days later, I'm out of a campsite. They've sent drones looking for me. This is no joke what I've been through in my life. It's why I'm writing the book. But I'm doing it now for my grandchildren and for my kids who are experiencing high rents and stuff like that. I don't want my grandchildren going through it. My grandparents fought in a war so I could have freedom and all that shit. Now I'm fighting a war in our country by exposing them. But I have to go through all the bullshit. So I'm getting hit with bullets all the time because of the target on my back. So, you know, and you can see that I'm not a lazy fucking good for nothing. I just want to get on with my own business and make real serious money so I can buy land and secure a future for my kids and grandchildren through property development. Now you can see how fucking smart I am. I'm not going to act dumb about that. And if you say I'm not smart, well, you're obviously just brain dead. So, look, I'm multitasking. Cooked dinner, done the reviews, done 2 videos, and now I'm about to eat dinner. It's been a long night. And then I'm going to have a bit of... Alright, so I've got to get in touch with the universe. I need some relaxed time. But until then, guys, I've just exposed the Lismore office and the head honchos up there and all their bullshit. I got back, there's some other stories, they started tightening things down now since I've been at the fucking office, do you get it? After I was at the office, they're starting to ring the motel and saying, right, any noise complaints, any this from anyone in there, they're straight out. Da-da-da-da-da. Because of me, now, they're going to try and tighten the reins on everyone else. But there's more to that, guys. They're ending this thing in 2 months, I heard. But they've got no fallback for us. And this whole thing will stop. Yet they keep sending people here that it's not making sense, guys. This is the new Australia, I guess. But we're going to change that as soon as we get you out, Albanese. Anyway, I've got to go have my steak dinner. And you guys all stay safe out there. Don't let these tyranny cunts tell you what's what. Yeah, okay, so stay strong, stay resilient, and never ever give up. This is the boss from Buddy and the Boss. Out.